Now, donating your clothes is a good practice to follow and a better choice for the environment, as your old clothes can be reused or can be recycled into something new. But in Kenya, 1/3 of all second-hand clothing shipped to the country in 2021 was plastic waste in disguise, creating a slew of environmental and health problems for local communities. Every year, tons of donated clothing is sent to developing countries, but an estimated 30% of it ends up in landfills or flooding local markets where it can crowd out local production. A new report shows that the problem is having grave consequences in Kenya, where some 900 million pieces of used clothing are sent every year, according to the Netherlands-based Changing Markets Foundation. For instance, textile waste from Europe, the US and Asia is sent to the country. The discarded clothes are sent to markets in East Africa for recycling. But the sheer volume of poor quality second-hand textiles arriving here is creating a waste problem, as traders who are not able to sell these clothes are either dumped to the landfill or are burned. Now, much of the clothing shipped to the country is made from petroleum-based materials such as polyester, or are in such bad shape they cannot be donated. So they eventually end up burning in landfills near Nairobi, exposing the informal waste pickers to toxic fumes. Tons of textiles are also swept into waterways, eventually breaking down into microfibers that are ingested by aquatic animals. Moreover, according to the report, several waste pickers working at the Dandora say that they contracted breathing and asthma issues by inhaling smoke from the burning plastic at the site. Meanwhile, experts say that the problem of clothing waste has been exacerbated by the fast fashion boom in wealthier nations, where the items, many made from synthetic fibers, might be worn only a few times before being discarded. The report calls for the use of non-toxic and sustainable materials in textile manufacturing and the establishment of more robust extended producer responsibility schemes around the world. For more on this, our correspondent Louisa Olaniyi has sent us this report. Take a look.
There is no gainsaying that African countries constitute a dumping ground for used items from the West, especially clothing. But what do you make of second-hand materials that could barely be used by those intended to benefit from them? A typical scenario is the intentional dump of plastic waste in form of second-hand clothing shipped from European countries to Kenya. This constitutes environmental hazards in a region known for its inadequate waste disposal expertise. Experts continue to call on measures to regulate such moves to mitigate potential hazards in the future. From Lagos, Nigeria, Louisa Olaniyi, WION, World is One.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.